How, during inflation, how to cope when you're a jewelry maker or you just have hobbies. How to cope during inflation. This is how I am surviving. I have found that at like the Dollar Tree, they have lots of stuff for $1.25 that I can make jewelry with. I have beads and things where I have collected from clearance sales, from regular sales. I found places online that's, dollar beads. You can get a string of 50 beads for $1. That's a bargain. So I just be real careful where I source my beads from, and I keep it under a budget. I don't go over that. My budget has dropped a great deal since inflation has started because of the price of food and the price of gas. So I have maybe $10 a month for beads and supplies. Sometimes not even that, because it needs to go to things we need. So I don't buy beads every month. I don't buy beads every couple of months. What I do is that the beads that I had built up over the years, I just use those. If there's a project I want to do, I try to source out beads that it requires, and I just don't get them if I can't get them. I just table that project for when I do. So I go to the Dollar Tree, the Dollar General, the Family Dollar. I go online, and a lot of places have clearance sales where you can get really nice things. I go to trusted places online. I found this one place that was a scam, and this is how I make sure it's safe. It's an online safe. I find a contact phone number. If it doesn't have a contact phone number, I don't deal with it no more. If they cannot put their physical address of where they are and a phone number to contact them, then to me it's a fake website, and I don't deal with it at all. So I call them, verify that they're a real place, because it's a real big thing to have like 1,000 white pearl beads for $1.50. Yeah, that's a great buy, but if they don't have a phone number where I can call them, I will not order from them. And a lot of ever since the pandemic, I don't order from anywhere outside the United States. Maybe Canada, because they're pretty close to us and can ship pretty good. But I just try to stick mainly inside the United States, because I don't want to deal with shipping issues. I don't want to wait 6 months to a year like some beaters are having problems with. So right now my beading is like a hobby level. I'm trying to work towards getting back a DBA and getting all of the stuff that you need and doing crafts shows and things like that. But for right now, it's just mostly a hobby. I sell it as a hobby. I sell it on eBay. And so I'm just trucking along. And during inflation, I'm using up what I have. I go into cheaper places, and I'm checking my stuff. if it's good, if you can use it. I check what it's made out of, things like that. You don't want to get earring hooks that are going to cause keloids. You don't want to get some cheap earring hooks. I I order my earring hooks through Walmart, and I have been trying some out from the Dollar Tree. So far, I haven't had an allergic reaction to the ones from the Dollar Tree. I'm allergic to metals, and that's why almost all of my jewelry is beaded jewelry. So I I am surviving inflation by maybe doing my hobby once a week, maybe, make just one for me and two or three to put on eBay, and, make one for me and some for family members. So during inflation, you really have to look at, can I just use what I already have? A lot of people stockpile, there's a sale, and they go get it. Can you just use what you already have? Use the supplies that you already have. Um, do you have to make, 20, 30 of one thing? Can you cut down on how much you're making? If you're like a big eBay seller and you're making a lot selling online, you know, do you really want to cut down on how much you're making because it'll affect your inventory you're selling? If you're just doing it as a hobby, you know. So inflation has affected me a lot with my supplies because I am not going to pay $7 for only like 10 earring pairs of hooks. I'm not going to pay these big, huge prices for, oh, there's only like three or four lobster claws in the package and it's like $5. I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to find alternative ways to make my jewelry. There's the slip knot method. There's making your own clasps. You can take seed beads and make your own toggle clasps. I like toggle clasps. I put it on my, like I said, I've had a lot of injuries to my right hand. I've had 3-4 surgeries on it. I've got a metal pin in it. So toggles are just perfect for me. I switched all my jewelry over to toggles. Even the expensive stuff my husband got me when we was first married, I switched over. And he's like, but, and I saved the little clasp and used it to fix my mother-in-law's necklace when hers busted. And I'm like, well, these came off of that, and they're silver and they're stamped, and so we're gonna put it on hers because hers is a silver chain. So we, you just do stuff like that. But this is how I am beating inflation. I am finding not cheaper quality, but lower prices, cheaper prices. They sell a lot of stuff on Facebook. And like I said, if you can't call, if they won't give you a phone number on Facebook so you can call and talk to them, I will not order anything from them through Facebook. And that's just me. That's to protect myself. So, when I was a teenager, I made jewelry from other jewelry I found at yard sales. So if you can go to yard sales, a lot of people will sell. There's beaded jewelry. Oh, hey, I found this one necklace. It was like a 28-inch, and it was a double road. necklace. Well, I don't really like those double, triple row necklaces. They're just a little too stifling for me. So I took it apart. I like the beads in it. So I took it apart. I made me some earrings. I made me a bracelet, and I put the beads in another with a bunch of other beads and made me a necklace. So, can you source your beads that way? Can you go to thrift shops and find, there's a lot of thrift shops in another town from us, and I'm like, oh, wish we had gas. I'd go to those thrift shops and look through all their jewelry. You could get pendants, you could get all sorts of stuff to source out your jewelry to sell in your jewelry making. So this is how I am surviving inflation. I have decreased my productivity, and I have changed where I get my beads and things from. And I'm like, well, inflation can't last forever. These high prices cannot last forever. So can I be happy with this while I'm waiting for the prices to come down and get that? You see? Or do I just not buy this and just keep saving so I can get that? See? It's all what depends on what you want to do and how you want to handle it. So this is how I am surviving inflation with my jewelry making habit. I'm making a lot of changes. I'm tweaking things. And, you're buying it from another source. It's cheaper. So you have to, are you going to change your prices? I already have my prices set at the lowest I can go. When I sell locally, it's just to cover the price of the materials. And, you do materials times 2 times your labor. Well, I sell mine, the materials times 2. So it's pretty, and this one, I did the math on this one. This lady is like, oh, I'm not paying $5 for that. I'm going to the dollar store and get a pair of earrings for $1. And I'm like, okay, then I'm just not going to sell it to you. And because I'm not about to sell something that I have $2.50 worth of beads in it. And those particular earrings had 14K gold earring hooks, because I found 14K gold earring hooks on clearance. And so I was not about to sell that for $1. So I'm like, okay, then go to the dollar store. And I'm like, these are $5. The earring hooks themselves, I got those on clearance sale, and I looked it up online. Just those earring hooks themselves for 6 pair on some of these websites is like $7, and I'm selling the earrings for $5. I'm like, come on, give me a break. So if you can tweak your prices, maybe that'll help you. But no, I'm not going to sell less. I'm not going to sell something less than the price of the wedding, the price of the components, the beads, the pendants, the jump rings, and all of that, the earring hooks, the clasps, the chain, if it's got chain, that times 2. And we did the math on one of my earrings. It came out to, my labor was $1.15. You take $1.15 off of $5. That's $4 and 45 cents that it cost me to make those earrings. So I'm like, nope, I can wait until somebody's willing to pay the money for that, So, yeah, don't let people give you a hard time on your items. A lot of the jewelry I have up for sale, I should have priced at $15-20. And they're still trying to give me a hard time about $5, And I told my husband, well, if they don't appreciate the $5, I'll just jack the price up. I'll make exceptions sometimes if it's like an elderly person and they really, I'll give the elderly a break. I would. I've done it. I've sold earrings to elderly people for $1, and they're running around. They're so happy. That one lady, she just started crying. You really gonna give it to me for $1? And we was at a crafting show, an event here in town. We were trying to raise some money to get to Dallas to see the neurosurgeon. And I'm like, you know what? You can just keep the earrings. And she started crying. She gave me a hug. And so my husband was kind of upset. He goes, we're trying to raise some money to get you to Dallas for your brain tumor, and you're giving those to her. And so she's like, I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you. And her husband actually put his hands on my head, and he prayed for me right then and there. And that was worth more than the $1 she offered and the $5 that I had it up for sale. So that's one of the things I do. It's like we were making children's bracelets, and my husband, he just gave some away, and those little girls, they were so happy. And the mother, she was like, oh, I can't really buy those and this and that. And it was one of the little girls' birthday, and he goes, here, you can just have them, you know and we gave them to her. And that lady about a year later, I fell in the grocery store, and I was on that metal walker, and I fell, and that lady came and helped me. She goes, you're that lady who gave those bracelets to my daughters and made them so happy. She goes, I'll help you up. And her and some other guy came in. They helped me up. So you never know. But this is how I am surviving inflation with my beaded jewelry. A lot of people ship their stuff in like fancy packages and this and that. I go to the Dollar Tree and get the bubble insulated packages, the mailers, $1.25 for 2 of them.